The Monstrous Meltdowns of Max the Monster. On the bright yellow star of Alpha Leporis, the rude monster family was gathered for another tense dinner, with their troublesome son Max at the center of the chaos. As usual, the young red monster was complaining about the food, his big purple nose scrunching up in disgust. I can't stand this gross slime," he whined, pushing his plate away. "Why can't we ever have anything good to eat?" His mother, the head rude monster, glared at him with her sharp fangs bared. "Max, you ungrateful little beast, you are going to sit there and finish your dinner right now," she snapped, slamming her fist on the table. But Max wasn't having it. He let out a loud, grating shriek, his face contorting into an expression of pure rage. "No, I don't want it. I want something else," he screamed, his short purple arms flailing wildly. The other monsters at the table cringed, used to Max's notorious temper tantrums. His father, a hulking figure with a deep, rumbling voice, tried to intervene. "Max, enough of this nonsense," he growled. "You will eat what's in front of you, or there will be consequences." Max, however, was not about to back down. He jumped up from the table, knocking over his chair, and began stomping around the room, his sharp claws raking against the walls. "I hate this food. I hate this planet. I want to go to Earth and eat all the yummy human snacks," he wailed, his voice rising to a deafening pitch. The rest of the family watched in a mix of exasperation and dread, knowing that there was no reasoning with Max when he was in one of his monstrous meltdowns. His mother tried to calm him down, but her soothing words only seemed to provoke him further. "That's it, you're grounded," she shrieked, her eyes blazing with fury. "No more trips to Earth, no more human snacks, and no more of your ridiculous tantrums." Max, however, was beyond reason at this point. He let out an ear-piercing roar, his body shaking with rage, and began to hurl whatever he could get his hands on at his family members. Dishes, utensils, and even the table itself went flying as the young monster unleashed his fury. The other monsters scattered, taking cover as Max continued his rampage. His father tried to restrain him, but the young monster's strength was unmatched in his state of absolute fury. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity, Max's energy began to wane, and he collapsed to the floor, panting heavily. The rest of the family slowly emerged from their hiding places, surveying the damage with a mix of anger and bewilderment. "That's it, Max," his mother said, her voice cold and unwavering. "You're going to your room, and you're not coming out until you've learned to control that temper of yours." Max, too exhausted to argue, simply nodded and dragged himself to his room, the sound of his sniffles echoing through the corridors. The rest of the family set about cleaning up the mess, their expressions a mix of exasperation and resignation. It was just another day in the life of the rude monster family, with Max's monstrous meltdowns always threatening to tear them apart. But they knew that they had to find a way to rein in the young monster's wild behavior, or else risk facing the consequences of his uncontrollable outbursts. As for Max, he lay curled up on his bed, his big purple nose twitching with a mix of shame and defiance. He knew that he had gone too far this time, but the temptation of those delicious human snacks was just too strong to resist. And deep down, He couldn't help but wonder when he'd get the chance to unleash his fury on the unsuspecting humans of Earth once again. The end, for now.
He's a monster, monster.